Hello, everyone. In this video, you will review classic fraction calculations. We will work through 3 simple examples together, which will help you understand the 4 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of fractions. Take your time, follow each step carefully, and by the end, you will be able to solve any fraction without difficulty. Let's start with case A first. Everything must be in fraction form. Here, there is a whole number in our calculation, so we will convert it to a fraction with a denominator equal to 1. Now that we have our fractions, we need to put them on the same denominator. This is because we can only add or subtract fractions if they have the same denominator. Here, we look at the denominators and find a common multiple. We need to find the smallest common multiplier because it's the easiest way to solve a fraction. Here we see that the common multiple is 12. So we need to put the fractions with a denominator of 12. To do this, we need to multiply 3 by 4, 4 by 3, and 1 by 12. Once we have chosen the common denominator, we must adjust the numerators because when we multiply the denominator, we must also multiply the numerator by the same number. So here we multiply 5 by 4, 7 by 3, and 2 by 12. We do our calculations and find minus 20 twelfths, 21 twelfths, and 24 twelfths. Now that all our fractions have the same denominator, we can put this calculation under a single fraction. Then we can move on to the calculation. We add 21 and 24, which gives us 45, then we subtract 20, which gives us 25 twelfths. Very good. We got our result because even though we can simplify it, we won't find a number, so we leave it as a fraction. Now let's deal with B. This time, we are dealing with a multiplication of fractions. As a reminder, multiplications are not treated like additions or subtractions. Here, the rule is simple. We multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. To get a clear expression, we will put everything into a single fraction. Before calculating, we look at our numbers. Can we simplify a factor at the top with a factor at the bottom? Yes, we can. And it's better to do it now, before multiplying. This prevents us from getting large numbers and having to simplify at the end. Here, we see that we can simplify the 4s. Both are divisible by 4. So, we divide 4 by 4. That makes 1. Another possibility would be to remove them, but for this example we will use the first method. So now we have smaller numbers that are easier to work with. We can therefore write that the fraction is minus 6, minus 3. Let's look at the signs. We have a minus on a minus, and we know that a minus on a minus equals a plus. So our final result will be positive. We can now move on to calculating the values. And we know that 6 divided by 3 equals 2. There you go. Fraction B is solved. Now we come to division. So, in reality, division is a bit like hidden multiplication. And it also works for fractions. When we divide 2 fractions, we actually transform this division into multiplication. Because when we divide by a number, it's like multiplying it by its inverse. So here, dividing by 16 is the same as multiplying by 1/16. As before, we will put everything into a single fraction. And now, as if by magic, we find ourselves in exactly the same situation as when multiplying fractions, as we did just before with fraction B, and we notice that we can simplify 8 and 16. Because they have a common factor. Both are divisible by 8. So, we divide 8 by 8. That makes 1. And 16 divided by 8. That makes 2. Finally, we do the math. 1 times 1 equals 1. And 5 times 2 equals 10. So we get 1/10. There you go. We have our final result. But also this video, in which you were able to review all the basic operations on fractions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Feel free to watch it again to practice, and above all, subscribe so you don't miss the next lessons. See you soon for a new video.